Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to take a look at Bloody April, Air War over Arras, France, 1917. This is a GMT game published in 2012, making it a 12-year-old game. Game designed by Simo. Let's take a look at the back of the box. It is a 3-inch box. There's the map, which is very beautiful. We'll get into that in a little bit. Complexity at the rules is a 7. Solitaire suitability is 6. Now, when we get into the rules, there is a player aid that talks about some solo play, and at some point I will put up a gameplay scenario using the scenario rules so we can see how well it actually plays out. So it says players 1 to 2. Time 2 minutes per turn. Now I picked this up on Noble Knight Games used. I was able to get free shipping, and this guy cost me only 125 bucks, which if you check prices on eBay, I think I got a pretty good deal. Now let's take a look at what's inside the box. I'm going to slide the box off screen so we can look at the components. First, the rule book. It's 40 pages, 2-column, nice font, color. These are important things to me when I'm looking at a rule book, at least for its readability. I like the designer notes spread out. I'm not going to go too deep into the rules. We will when we get into the playthroughs. Again, we'll get into this deeper when we get into the solitaire, but there's your solitaire rules. Not a lot. It reads, Bloody April has been designed primarily as a 2-player experience, but can be played solitaire from the British side. Then, page 30, we get into some designer notes. And then an appendix and an index. Nice. It's nice having both of these in a rule book. Next up is the playbook. This is where we have our scenarios. Now, this has 30 scenarios. Excuse me, Missy. Now, we get to the playbook. Starts off with a nice little historical background, and then new players start here. Kind of a detailed example of play. Very nice. Then we get into some order of battle from the various squadrons. Talks about some of the setup for the scenarios and some of the general rules. Talks about the trench lines. Now, when we look at the map, you're going to see that they've actually incorporated 2 trench lines, depending on the time of the month that you're playing the game. It actually works pretty nice. It looks very cool. Now, one thing about the scenarios, like I said, there are 30 scenarios. They go in chronological order calendar-wise. So scenario 1 starts March 4th. I'm going to jump to the back here. Scenario 30 is the 28th of May. And then you play, as you can see, the scenarios as you go. Now, you'll see something here. It says show or campaign. There are campaign scenarios. Show is a little more than a patrol, but not quite a campaign. And here's an example of a patrol, and they're shorter scenarios. Next up are our player aids. Weather plays a big part in this game, as you might imagine. Here's how you set your scenario wind conditions and how the weather might change during a scenario. Next up, we got our sequence of play. Nice. All fits on one page, so that's encouraging. On the back side of this are some random events. So this gets into a detection table, steps you through the process. Then you've got your sun arc and various diagrams for your arcs and how the aircraft are aligned on the map. Now I like this. When you're doing recon missions, you take photographs. This player aid steps you through the quality of those photos that you've taken, from undamaged to damaged to crippled. And then what is in those photographs determine how many victory points you get. For example, enemy trench line, 2 victory points. Enemy aerodrome, 5 victory points. A road or a rail, 1 victory point. Road or rail junction, 2 intersections, 2 victory points. 3 plus intersections, 3 victory points. Town or city, 2. Non-enemy wood open, half a victory point. This is very cool. I love this design. It's something I'm going to probably steal in some of my designs. I've also heard conversations with other designers talking about how to handle scouting in a game. This might be a template on how to do that, even in World War II type games with ground units. The back side of this is the artillery cooperation matrix. Again, if you're flying artillery cooperation missions, this steps you through the process. Another really cool gameplay concept here. I'm digging this so far. Let me get a list of aerodromes and their hex that they're sitting in. And then a dogfight play aid. When we get into gameplay, this will become self-evident. So this is the Scout Aircraft Solitaire Activation Matrix. This is used in combination with the 3 solitaire rules from the rule book. Like I said, I'm going to play at least one solo scenario and put this through the paces. We'll see how it plays. I'm really curious. Here is a Bloody April planning map that you can photocopy. Next is this trifold. And let me just say, I would love to see more publishers do trifolds for player aids. There are 6 player aids here. 5 of them are really easy to get to, right? Got this, open this up. We've got this. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, easy to get to, and the 6th one's here on the back. Here are your log sheets. You write your counter information. And that's 2-sided, so you see the front and the back. And you get a pad of them. Let's get to the map. First off, cardstock. I actually like this. I'll have some detailed shots of the map so you can see the quality of the art that may not come across from this view. It's absolutely beautiful in my opinion. And like I said, I'll give you some detailed shots of this map. I don't have plexiglass. This would play better under plexiglass, to be honest. Here's the one trench. And you'll see here is the other trench line. And again, that's based on the calendar and what scenarios you're playing. Here are your aircraft data cards. You have 19 British and 12 German. They are thick card, single-sided, and give you information about the deck, the low, medium, high, altitude, speeds, and other data required for gameplay. Now these are the aircraft that participated in Bloody April. As I mentioned, I got a used copy of the game. All the counters were punched, put in these nice little baggies, No counters were clipped. There should be a total of 1,104 counters. On my first count, I got 1,103. I'll recount it. I'm not worried about one counter. Unless it turns out to be the Red Baron's counter, I might be a little disappointed. I'll have some detailed shots of what these actually look like, but 1,100 counters. Now I'm going to end up clipping these and putting them in my handy dandy little plastic containers. So there we go, guys. Complete unboxing of Bloody April, Air War over Arras, France, 1917, again by GMT Games.